Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation on cognitive dissonance theory. Our names are Joyce, Claudia, Melissa, Amber, and my name is Victor. I will be walking you down the presentation today. The basics. The term cognitive dissonance was coined by Leon Festinger in 1957 and has to do with balance as we try to avoid cognitive inconsistency. It is defined as a period in which both our thoughts and behaviors do not match. Being in a state of inconsistency is mentally uncomfortable and we try to avoid it. Cognitive inconsistency causes dissonance. As people, we want our thoughts as well as actions to be well balanced among consistency with one another. Dissonance. The definition is described as an uncomfortable feeling a person experiences when one thought does not match the other. It is often felt between a mismatch of behaviors and thoughts. Dissonance tends to put individuals in an adverse motivational state in which they strive to avoid dissonance and want to reduce it when it occurs. When making a decision, dissonance will always be experienced, followed by a post-decisional phenomenon, in which case is the rejected option in a decision that creates dissonance. Dissonance magnitude. Not all decisions are made equally, at least when it comes to the importance that each option has. There is a two-factor influence dissonance magnitude, or can also be seen as the severity of dissonance felt by a person. For one, the relative proportions of cognitive and dissonant elements. Second, the importance of elements or issue. Dissonance reduction. The amount of dissonance felt after making the decision depends on how similar the initial evaluation of elements are, and relative importance of the decision. Some of the methods for reducing dissonance include the following. 1. Changing the proportion of consonant and dissonant elements. 2nd, adjusting the importance of elements or the issue, which is identified as post-decisional spreading. Decisions cause dissonance. Conflicts arise when making decisions that ultimately lead to dissonance, which follow a step-by-step process. A conflict arises, then a decision needs to be made, followed by a dissonance coming from the decision chosen, and finally, the dissonance reduction. Conflict amount depends on the initial evaluation of alternatives, meaning when options are similar, there is more dissonance than when the options are not. Persuasive tactics are most relevant when you are still making decisions. Dissonance and incentives. Induced compliance can arouse dissonance by having people go against their personal beliefs due to the promise of an incentive. The general amount that an incentive holds is determined by how much dissonance is experienced. For example, a larger reward would mean a lower dissonance. On the other hand, a smaller reward would equal a greater level of dissonance. Now, we will be analyzing an Allstate advertisement that demonstrates a perfect example of cognitive dissonance.
Teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all OMG. Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
Dissonance in the advertisement's narrative. In this advertisement, the driver is presented with two options, to text or not to text. But because the driver chose to text, he ended up crashing his car. Thus, dissonance is created. The driver regrets choosing to text over not texting, which resulted in the crash. Dissonance in the advertisement narrative. In order to reduce dissonance, the driver does two things. For one, he tries to reduce the importance of the element in the degree of saying, "Oh my god, Becky's not even hot." The second instance occurs when the driver changes the proportion of agreement by adding a new consonant cognition. If you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. Dissonance in the advertisement narrative. Additionally, the advertisement is aiming to create dissonance in the viewer. The advertisement wants the viewer to switch to Allstate insurance, creating post-decisional regret. The commercial goes on to highlight the difference in insurance quality between Allstate and the cut rate insurance, dissonant elements for your current insurance and consonant elements for Allstate both grow, as they are evaluated more similarly than before, and thus a switch of agencies would help reduce dissonance for the viewer. Induce compliance in the advertisement. The commercial also attempts to induce compliance in the viewer, as the reward of switching to Allstate is larger. The large reward would mean not having to pay for damage yourself. Thus, a large reward would mean less dissonance being experienced by the individual who chooses Allstate insurance. On the other hand, the reward of staying with the cut rate insurance is basically non-existent. The small reward would be paying out of pocket for the damage that the accident caused. In conclusion, cognitive dissonance theory can be observed in an Allstate advertisement in 3 different ways. For one, the commercial's narrative. Second is a subtextual messaging tactic. And third is the form of induced compliance. All of the 3 methods are working together in an attempt to persuade the viewer to switch to Allstate. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video.